And welcome back to another episode as Russia. I did want to say thank you for the support on the channel recently. I'm going to make sure I try and get these videos out to you guys, but I am a full-time college student, so whenever I get the time, I use these videos to basically record me playing the games I want to play in my free time anyway. So yeah, just a quick note on that, but really thank you for all the recent support, and let's go ahead and get in today's episode. Before we unpause, I did want to take the fleets and move it over to Vladivostok, because if we don't do this, some of the ships over here are going to flip to our side, and they're not going to have any friendly ports to dock in, and so they're just going to be sitting out in the open ocean. We don't want that. They might not be able to get there before the war, but, well, we could try. Let's pick up the advanced barrel forging for our infantry equipment MIO. And I think we should get the improved machine tools, get that product efficiency up. We will have to reorganize some of our mills, and let's go and do some of that now. We want to prioritize trucks and support equipment and artillery, and we want to make sure that when we flip that our mills go into these things. Yeah, we're going to have to readjust it anyway, but that's all right. Let's get some more cav in these regions, so maybe we can cut off this area here and quickly grab it. And yeah, we're just waiting for the Civil War to fire any moment now. As soon as this focus completes, the hands do, and we will start the Civil War on our terms. I'll show you how to set up your army and arrange for push through to the Urals. We could look at some of that there, but we're gonna have to change it up anyway when the war starts. Let's get the high speed rating for this designer here. Not gonna be able to play as much with the Navy in this playthrough. We will have a bit of a fleet, but it's mostly gonna be for coastal defense. Possibly a focus on subs, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, we're going to be in a pretty bad position once we finish this Civil War. We're going to be late on a lot of things we need, and it's going to be important for us to, during the Civil War, start building up our Air Force and tanks and that sort of thing anyway. And just trying to do our best to stay on top of that stuff. But there we go. Second Civil War has fired. Capital moves to Cheetah and ascended to the province. Lots to make note of here, but we do have all of these divisions. Let's add them to this single division, get a field marshal, and separate all the cav outs. We're going to do something special with that. Let's add the armor to its own unit. And we're just going to split this army into two. These are going to be our main infantry divisions. Let's switch them to this template just to keep things kind of, you know, consistent. Let's add two over to this one. And so we're going to have our armor, our cav. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's get the best defensive general we can get. So we'll hire him. This one can be, well, let's say just the highest attack one that isn't Semyonov. No, I'll put him. The tanks can go under Pyotr Krasnov, since we can get combined arms expert, and then lastly the cav can be under Semyonov. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's change this to a nice white color, since we are the White Army. Call it the White Army for flavor. Our fleet should be heading over here. Hopefully they're not locked in the Baltic or anything. Maybe we managed to avoid that. Here is hoping. Okay. So the other thing we need to look at is the Air Force in a minute here. Yeah. And these air bases are tiny. Our production is a bit of a mess. Let's take a few off the guns. Try and at least get something on artillery and anti-air. Yeah, this is a bit rough. Gonna need some trucks. Let's just get rid of these planes. We're gonna be needing to build more planes anyway. And we'll leave the ships for now. Okay. let's figure out what we're doing with our army. So we'll want to get offensive doctrine, charismatic. These are all, technically these are all field marshals, but we don't want to give them any of that. Let's get combined armed expert for him and cav expert for him. Alright, so what we're going to do is assign a field marshal order and sort of spearhead this up to about this river. And then we are going to want to unassign the armies though, because we want to do that ourselves. Okay. He can go on here. This one can also go on here to push. The tanks we will assign ourselves on a separate line, specifically pushing through Omsk over to here along the railway. That is what controls the supply here, and we'll even want to shorten this just a bit like that. Perfect. As for the cav is going to be playing essentially as our cleanup, and we kind of want to be smart about this. We want some cav pushing up here, and we want some cav to kind of clean this up. So let's assign a front line, something like this, to push here, and we're gonna put it just to like over here, more like a sweeping motion like that. And then we'll want to grab some of these guys and just assign one or two of them up here. So we need to see where the closest cav is, because we kind of want to do this quickly. So we want him up here like that to kind of push in here. We can actually probably micro this. Want also him up here. Yeah, this guy can come over to here. And they may have to take the railways. But we kind of want to pincer this, close this. I don't know if there's any troops in here, to be honest with you. But if there is, we're going to close up this pocket as quickly as possible. Just keep assigning a few front lines. Not that one. I'm going to get rid of that one, if it'll let me. Oh, there we go. We want to sign it for this one. I want to sign it for this one. And this is just so we are setting up these. We're going to mostly micro. And you're going to see the main trick to winning the Russian Civil War is, and this is the same reason why a lot of people struggle with it. You have to micro. And you have to cut troops off. And you have to destroy their troops. You can't just push against their troops endlessly. But it's also a really big front. So you want to be efficient with where you're focusing your efforts. So let's assign trucks to these divisions. We want our tanks to have motorized as well as these troops. We don't care so much about the cav. And we want to make sure that this is upgraded as well. And we should have done this beforehand, honestly. But that's okay. We'll get up to level 2 there. And I think we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and pause it. Let's put it on speed 4. Just for the beginning here. And let's start trying to get any troops we have in the area over here and to push forward. And if we can honestly take Omsk right away, that would be ideal. And there is someone there. Okay, I don't know if we can win that. Okay. Let's see if we can just take that tile next to it. Okay, we do have a tank here now. Maybe we can win with the tank. No, because our org is too low. Okay. Let's see if we can move the tank up there. Again, it's a little bit of a rush here as we are waiting for troops to kind of get to the front line. So we want to take as much as we can with the limited time that we have and sort of just... We don't want our tanks to go over there. Let's send them over here. As for Semyonov, his armies can go on aggressive. We want to clean up these lines as quickly as possible. Don't want to wait around for that. Okay, so why don't you go there. Don't have enough supply here, so let's take a look at the supply. If we go here. Okay, yeah, so there's just not enough supply here, which is fine. upgrading that will help. Expanding the line out will help a little bit as well. And we want to switch over to balanced cohesion so they're not moving all over this super large front, which will happen a lot. That way they're actually getting to the positions they need to be in. Let's move, take that victory point. I want to try and cut off as much of this as I can so we don't have to do it the hard way later on. Just take some of these troops, expand this front out. And you can see they're slowly arriving here. And they're going to try and push us back. And that's okay. Let's take a look at our research here. Let's pick up... Let's pick up the field hospitals. Got a few divisions here to assign. Let's put them in their own army. 17 divisions. We'll want to get them their own leader. And we'll change the color as well so we can differentiate them. Let's do a light blue. I don't think we have that yet. Alright. Let's also assign them to this front, which I realized we didn't do a... That was for our tanks. Okay, so let's do... There are tanks, and then for the field marshal order, we'll want to do something a little bit more like this. And then we'll assign him to the field marshal order as well. Okay, so again, we're kind of waiting for the front lines to settle a little bit, but also trying to take advantage of it best we can at the moment. Try and get over this river. Don't want to have to push over that later. And, you know, we don't want to expand this too much because we still kind of want to fight in this corridor. We don't want to push all the way up here. There's no supply. There's no point fighting over that territory. It's not of any use to us, realistically. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Rather, we just kind of want to make sure we have control of this corridor and stretch their numbers out a little bit. Take areas where we think they might be weak, where we can win. We want to get another division there so we don't get pushed back. And yeah, as they've filed in here, they've put a lot of troops right here, so they're kind of stacking them, but slowly they're going to shuffle their troops up this long front line. And that's going to cause them some issues and give us more of an opening. Let's pick up the research bonus here for the MIO. Give them more points, and let's put another mill into tanks as well. Yeah, supply is a major issue here. Let's just make sure that we have full motorization, and really there's not much we can do about it except upgrade this, which we are already working on. But we need to free up some of our trade, and we're just going to pull off of that if we can, so that we can get as many civs as we can. We might be able to win here even with the low supply, but I'd rather them weaken their troops for now. Let's fill into there. We don't have anyone to cover that gap yet because troops are still moving in. Let's move up here if we can. Don't want to lose that victory point either. And the cav can move up if they want, but we don't want this field marshal order, so we want to make sure we pull this down. We want to focus their troops in there. And now, because we took that call for aid focus, we're going to get some support from Germany and Italy, so we want to accept that. And I recommend picking up the aristocratic investments for a few more mills early on in the war here. Going to be pretty helpful. And I just want to see if we can win here. Supply is a continuous issue here, but we can win there. We push there, see if we can't win here. Looks like we're probably going to have more success in the south, trying to push against these troops. Can't win there. So you just want to take your victories where you can, but realistically, we want to start thinking about trying to cut off some of these troops as well. Once we see a few more openings, maybe we can get over the river here. That would be useful. And right now, not seeing too many opportunities just yet to cut off these troops, but when we do, we will take them. Maybe up here we could do something. There's still a lot of troops here, but you can notice as they've shuffled their troops down and expanded their front line, they have no supply because we control the supply hubs over here. Let's pick up the... How about the medium tank chassis? Let's do that, and we need to think about getting some air. So this is a bit of a problem because we have not a big enough air base. So let's move these extra planes over here, and these two air wings that have 100 in them get assigned to this region to help us out a bit. And we could do air support and close air support, or fighters, air superiority and close air support. That'll help us get superiority in the region. And we got some enemy desertions. So we just want to assign those troops to whatever front line will take them. And we see a few open tiles. Let's take them. Win anywhere we think we can, where we have the advantage in numbers. And here's an example of somewhere where we could cut off a few troops. So let's do that. Okay, volunteers have arrived. Let's have one of these guys walk over here. And yeah, they've focused a lot of their troops up here. And you can see like all these troops pouring in up here and just absolutely having no supply, which is great news for us. Now Omsk is in a pretty vulnerable position. We might be able to win there, which would be huge for us. This is a supply hub, and once we get that connected up, our front line is going to improve a lot. Let's just make sure one stays here. We can win there, and we got Omsk. Let's make sure the supply line is connected. Okay, we just grabbed it, so we won't be able to do it yet. But we want to make sure it's well defended as well. And yeah, that supply hub just flipped over to us. And now look, the supply has improved dramatically. Let's move down there. Actually, we don't want to do that. We might get our troop cut off. Let's instead go down here, pin him, have this tank go up here. One of these tanks should probably continue along there. We got another mill. Let's have him connect up there. Let's put more on tanks since we want to be able to replenish our losses on our tank divisions, which are going to be really important for us. Let's send one of these guys over here. See if we can't fill some of this in. Okay, this guy is cut off. We don't really want to fight over the river, so if we can move these troops around, that would be better. Okay, we got one tank here, and we just want to make sure we have one tank kind of moving along the railway. We don't want to overextend too much, but while they are unable to kind of defend it and need to reshuffle their troops, then we're going to definitely take advantage of that as soon as possible. We want to send a troop into here to defend that as well. Take advantage of this. Maybe we can push them out, and we're not going to win that. Maybe we can win there. And they've actually moved a troop out here, so maybe we can re-enter that province, push up here. Just take one of these tanks. Send a division there. We don't want to get cut off. We're going to kind of thicken up this front if we can. Destroyed that troop, so that's good. Frees up a few of our divisions. Let's have one go here, and we should get this guy cut off momentarily. I want to make sure one goes over here. Okay, got that one cut off, and we're slowly destroying their divisions. Just takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of micro, and just being careful about where you are putting your troops. Our manpower is extremely valuable, so if we were to just battle plan this, then we would not be in a great position. Another opportunity to maybe cut a few troops off here. Possibly. Let's go and take this tile. Send a few troops over here. Let's see how we're doing up here. So we haven't closed this off yet, but they are actually moving troops in here, which isn't terrible for us. Let's see if we can take that and pin that troop there and cut them off completely. Try and deal with this really quick. This one is taking a long time to get anywhere. Yeah, it's just, it's tough slugging in the Siberian wastes. Not really too much we can do about that, but it's okay. Let's see if we can't push along here and cut this troop off as well. with our armor. Let's expand this a little bit. See if we can't attack there. While maybe moving along the railway a little more over here. Let's take that tile. Go here. Yeah, we're continuing to expand. Remember, we started over here in Novosibirsk. We've taken all of this. And we're just moving along here to try and get these supply hubs. As you can see on the supply map. These are going to be crucial to our advance. This is what we need to win. Once we get to the Urals, they'll basically have already collapsed. And we're already seeing signs of collapse here. And I'd like to see if we can't cut them off even more so as they put more and more troops over here. And we're trying to get in there and cut off those troops, but it's just taking a little bit of time to do that. That's alright. Making good progress. We're being attacked there, so we can't cut them off. Let's have someone go in there to fill that and go there. Let's expand it there and there along this railway, cut them off even more. I'd like to have a troop come over here. Got some new research. Maybe we pick up the fuel refining early. We could think about making a intelligence agency as well, but there's just a lot of things we need before we do that. So we'll hold off for now. And let's switch back to the entry map and we cut this one off. So let's just destroy them and keep moving. So far so good. The Urals are in sight. So this is a mechanic that you need to be aware of. This is a uprising in Bukharan. I don't know where that is. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm assuming it's maybe a region down here. Possibly. Maybe. Just a guess. Probably a region around here or something like that. So, probably also down here. These little regions will rise up in rebellion. Georgia, Armenia, Ukraine, even Karelia, regions up here might try to take advantage of the civil war and rise up. You could ally with them. This would decrease world tension, and you could reintegrate them later, or you could say this is rightful Russian territory and go to war with them directly. I would recommend picking up this. That way it's just a little bit simpler and you don't have to bother taking the focus to bring them back into the fold. You can do it differently if you want. Got the aristocratic investments. Let's put that into guns. We do have a few options here now. I would think we want to get the cohesion first now. Let's look at how we're doing with our Air Force. This is a visual bug, by the way. I don't know why it does this, but I can't see if we have air superiority here. We do, but it doesn't show on the map. Let's also make sure that our fleet is where we need it to be. Do we have any over here? No, we don't. That's good. They're all in Vladivostok, where we need them, and we'll just leave them there to do nothing. Let's take that tile, move up through here if we can. Take this. Take this. Just keep pushing. I don't want to have that tank attack just yet. Let's see if we can take that there. This one is moving out, so we're going to let him. We're going to wait. And no, he, okay. So now he's attacking this unit. That's okay. Let's move here. Just kind of want to envelop this front around here as we continue to kind of cut them off over here as well. So this is a bit ambitious, but I'm going to try it. Try to cut this unit off here. And that there. Let's go up here and have these units try and cut off over here as well. Let's have one pin. And this one can go up here as well. So yeah, we're just trying to destroy their troops. Let's get our new research. Let's get the maintenance companies. So if we look here, we have 81 troops. They have 49 to 100. That's okay for now. but we want to basically ensure that they have less troops than us. They probably have around our troops, or maybe slightly less. Let's refocus down here on the south area for a minute. Let's not attack here, and let's try and cut them off completely. And we'll pin the divisions in place. Don't really want to win those attacks, but we can potentially. Let's move there as well. Let's pick up the 24-hour rotation shifts on this. Just come in here, checking if we have anything. Nothing quite yet. There's no rails here, so I'd like to honestly work back up through here. Maybe come down here. We could work on encircling with our armor. Some more troops. I'd like to refocus my armor, though. I think this armor line has extended far beyond where I want to focus it. And we need to fix that really quick so that we keep our tanks where they are going to be most useful, and that's pushing along the railways. Just be mindful of that. Let's make sure that they come back up here to this offensive line. Since that is where the supply is going to be best anyway, I think we will pick up the proper heritage. This reduces supply combat penalties on core territory, and this is all our core territory. So I recommend that. We can also pick up Anton Denikin for the division training time reduction and the extra army experience that we could use to upgrade our army. I think we can win this fight here. He's really low on supply. So let's just move up through here. Just expand this front a bit. He's weakened. Would have liked to have cut him off, but that's okay. Let's actually come over here and pick up this victory point. Got the basic tank chassis. We don't have the research to finish it just yet, but we can pick up the basic armor protection. Again, you know, it might seem a little bit unnecessary, but I think getting that tech now ensures that when Germany comes to fight us, we'll be in a better position. This one is cut off. Let's make sure we clean that up. We don't need all 4 units there, though. We'll just do it. Destroy it really quick. So Ukraine has risen up. We're going to say that's rightful Russian territory, but that's really good for us. Ukraine is a huge chunk of their industrial base, and that's going to really weaken their military. Let's pick up rehabilitated military. If we look now, look. Even at their highest estimate, they have basically the same troops as us. They almost certainly have less than us. Like, without a doubt. So they moved into this position, but let's see if we can cut them off by going through here instead. Same over here. Let's move through here again. It's a bit difficult in these conditions, but just trying to push forward where we can is going to be really important. It just takes a bit of patience, a bit of time. Slow down the speed and just do a little at a time. Do what you can. And that is what's going to matter the most. So we are low in supply, but we're still able to win here. We did get that combat supply reduction penalty over here, so that might be part of why we're able to win there. I mean, it was a weak cav unit, but we are also really low on supply. So these troops are cut off, and it's only a matter of time before they're just completely destroyed. We may need to bring some other troops up here to finish them off, but they're really not a threat to anyone at this point. Let's move up with this unit, see if we can't cut all of these troops off even more. Let's do the same over here. And I see a bit of a pocket forming here if we can maneuver correctly. So let's see if we can't do that. Yeah, and I think this is completely possible. Let's move there. Let's pin that unit for the time being. Actually, let's attack here. The Kievan Jihadist Republic, rightful Russian territory. I don't even know where that is. Okay, it's down here. So it's like Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, areas like that. Let's get the... Well, I don't know if we want to spend that. We'll pick up the trait. We won't upgrade because that's for our light tanks, and eventually we're not going to be using light tanks. So we're just going to leave that as is for now. Let's move these troops forward. They're kind of just sitting here. make sure that we're taking territory, cutting troops off where we can. Let's actually leave you here, go there, take one of these guys, go there. Yeah, they're continuing to evade our efforts to cut them off here. I think that's just because of the penalties to trying to move around over here are pretty rough, but we are winning. We are winning. And this is an open tile here. We'll leave the 1 infantry to hold that. And we'll also send a troop there. Looks pretty good. Just gotta keep moving. Okay, cut him off. And it looks like now we can successfully cut these guys off. Let's just start the attacks here. I'd like to free up these troops, so let's just keep pushing them back. And we got some more enemy desertions. They know that they are losing. Now, I didn't know this, but these are actually tank units, so we can send these to our tank army here. And make sure they get assigned to that front line. And again, I want to make sure that this is... Yep, okay, tanks are focused there. The rest of these can go into his army and be assigned to this front. Okay. Let's keep it moving over here. Cut them off. Let's take that victory point, move down here. Pick up some of this research. And I think maybe we will get the improved infantry equipment now. Yep, that looks pretty good. Let's get the enemy tank refitting. Yep, I like that. And that'll probably be useful in the future. Let's keep moving forward. And yeah, you could battle plan some of this, but I like to focus on the empty and open tiles. And we got a tank here, so let's see if we can't speed up here to this railway and have this one speed over here and just like quickly grab up this territory like really fast with these tanks. This might be the best opportunity we have to do so, so let's take advantage of it. Let's cut him off, pin him there, and let's go. And honestly, I think we could activate a battle plan here, set them to aggressive, see what we can do. Just make sure they are grabbing up that territory, and it is working pretty well. Let's move there as well. I don't like to rely too much on the battle plans. We don't need to attack them, so let's move them up here. And we got another tank division. Send them to the front. And camera moved all over the place. The rest of these into his army. No new traits. Just want to quickly grab up any territory we can. Let's move up there. Have the infantry fill in the gaps. Up around here. More desertions. And another tank unit. As you can see, we're really starting to gain a bit of momentum here. And that is exactly what we want. I do think we need to draw a new order. Past the Urals now, that we've made some significant progress. Remember, we started over here, and this is all that we've done in this episode, and they are getting cut off and destroyed left and right. We can free up these troops for other purposes. Pin him there. Move one down there, so they're continuing to move. Armenia has declared. Let's see if we can't cut these guys off as well. Try to make some smaller pockets if we can. Alright, looking pretty good. These tanks aren't doing anything right now, and I see, okay. Yeah, because it assigned those tanks to the army. We don't want it to do that, so let's get rid of that. And it reassigned our front lines. Okay, well, we'll reestablish this really quick. Probably needed to anyway. Let's make sure that we are focusing our army on all of this area. Let's assign the tanks to their own battle line order right along here with a line like that. And I don't know if it's actually... Yeah, it tried to assign them again here. So let's make sure they're assigned like that to their separate battle line, because if they're part of the field marshal order, then things are going to get kind of messy. So we'll just have to micro these little pockets closed. And there's an opportunity to close these guys off. Let's pin them into position. Clear some of this up. Take that there. And let's go. And at this point, you could probably battle plan it, and we might very well do that, but I just want to make sure that we get control of the railway first. And that we finish clearing up some of these pockets. I might just want to push him back. Let's have one come down here and try and close up this pocket. Just want to make sure we're destroying as many troops as we can before we just start kind of battle planning it. And you can kind of do that once you start getting closer to Moscow, because their army pretty much falls apart completely. Got another tank sent to the front. Rest these into his army. Then we got too many. Send this one to there, and the cav can actually... One of these cav can go into Semyonov's army instead. Alright, so we're not going to click this because once you start this, it will basically give you a debuff for the duration of that. So you kind of want to do that at peace. I think we're going to pick up the... Well, I was thinking maybe transpolar flights, try and get down to Foster Flying Clubs. Maybe the Military Engineering University. I'd like to start actually getting some more research slots because ours are pitiful right now. Yeah, we can't do this stuff until we get our factories back. Or maybe we start working down here so that by the time the war is over, we can go ahead and reconvene the Zemsky Sobor. And I think that's what we're actually going to do. Didn't mean to open the console there. Let's go ahead and get that trait. And these are still a little ahead of time. So I think what we're going to do is maybe see if we can't get some of these. And they're also ahead of time. Let's get the computing machine to improve our research a little bit. And keep moving on over here. Try and cut off these troops. More desertions, and these are just going to keep happening. So just want to assign them best we can. I actually accidentally activated this battle plan, though it doesn't even look like there is a battle plan. Okay, I think we're going to do this. Set them to aggressive, and we'll just micro where we can. Let's set them to actually rigid cohesion so that they're not moving all over the place. That actually helps us micro them just a bit better. Let's see if we can clean up this pocket really quick. And our troops are actually moving now. Try and take that air base. Have one of these tanks come over here, and we have reached the Urals. Let's try and get up to this river if we can. Yep, Kiev, Ukraine is pretty devastating to them right now. Let's get another army. Of course, these are going to need a separate field marshal. And I don't even know if we have a commander for this. We do. One of them joined us. Let's get offensive doctrine. And just get a separate field marshal order for these troops. And we'll have them focus on trying to clear up this sort of southern corridor and reach this area to try and cut off the supply completely from this entire area. This railway, these supply hubs, just try and cut it off completely. We'll wait till they get over there. Actually, we'll just go ahead and start it and set them to balance cohesion. Got a few more factories to assign. We could go ahead and make the medium tank chassis. I think we are going to do that. Let's go ahead and make a just kind of quick and dirty one. Let's get gasoline engine on there, Christie suspension, do riveted armor. Let's get a 2-man turret. We'll keep that armament. That is perfectly fine. Let's pick up the radio, the wet arm ammunition storage, and the sloped armor. Add as many engines as we can. Lower the armor, and that's acceptable. That's an acceptable tank. Not amazing, but not that bad either. Let's put one on that just to get that production getting up there. A few more troops assigned to this army. Just got to start pushing, guys. And we still want to be looking for a few opportunities to cut off troops if we can, but more importantly is just walking forward and getting to the heart of Russia, which is where a lot of those victory points are going to be. And we can go ahead and start moving along some of these railways. Again, another uprising, Belarus. That's also a pretty devastating one for Russia, honestly. And what you're going to start seeing is that their surrender limit is going to be going down. And that's going to make it easier to cap them. We're already at 41%, which is pretty decent. And we got an army stockpile captured in Ufa. So let's go ahead and grab this up and keep pushing here. I know today's episode is a bit longer than before, but maybe that is preferred. I'm not really sure. Kind of new to this whole thing, but if you prefer longer episodes, let me know. Not sure how many of you watch till the end or whatnot. But yeah, we're just pushing along here. Approaching some supply issues, so we want to make sure we're connecting any supply hubs that are here, and there are obviously none at all. There is one here, so we want to grab that one up, and that's going to help us continue our push. More desertions. I'm not even sure if they have any much of an army left at this point. Yeah, they have nothing. This is pretty sad, honestly. Let's pick up these tanks and put them in our tank army. Continue pushing along here. And yeah, we are really causing them a lot of issues here. Let's cut off this railway over here with our cav. And we're just pushing, and they don't have anything to resist us. The only thing is we want to make sure we're not really spending too much time trying to push up here unnecessarily. It's not going to matter. Another tank. We want to get to Moscow, and it looks like Ukraine, Belarus might get to Moscow first, which would be kind of funny if that happens. But we did finish up Article 124, and we're going to stop there for today. But we'll be back with another episode very soon. We'll go and start transpolar flights, but that's where we're going to end it today. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, like if you enjoyed the video, and really appreciate all the support lately, and I'll see you in the next one.